So let's talk about these inspections of the concentration camps. Maxwell Frost and some other representatives were trying to do their legal oversight and go in and inspect the concentration camps. And they also had some constituents that they were meant to go see. Apparently, in advance of them going, the people whoever they would talk to at the facility, I don't know if this is like through DeSantis or what, but they were basically given like an appointment. The problem with this is Congress people, and again, like Maxwell Frost is kind of lower down the list of people that have the amount of authority that I want people to have that go in. Like senators have like full authority, full like high level security clearances. So there's no like ifs, ands, or buts about whether they're allowed to go to the facility. So I don't know if part of the reason why Maxwell Frost was only allowed to see what they were willing to show him, if it had anything to do with that. Part of it, they wanted to see the toilets, because they were hearing complaints about toilets like overflowing, and there was feces coming out and spreading everywhere. There's issues with the water coming from like the lines that are tied in with the plumbing for the toilets, so it's like dirty water and it's disgusting. Lots of inhumane conditions. And this is the version that was like the cleaned up version, the fixed up version, because they were given an appointment to go in, which they're allowed. The expectation is that our people that have oversight, necessary oversight of facilities like this, is they can just drop by, and they should be granted full access, and they should be able to get whatever questions answered that they need, and they should be able to get to talk to their constituents that have concerns. And I got this info from like Maxwell Frost himself was talking on Vosh's coverage of this, and Vosh brought up some interesting points, and I thought that's something that's definitely worth amplifying the message, that like we need senators to demand from the courts that they authorize marshals to go with the senators in force, so there's none of this delay, deny access, dodge and stuff. The questions, like people that have full authority, there's no reason to be blocked at all. And I think that's a good idea, and I think we should be contacting our state AGs and our senators, making this kind of request, like, hey guys, we're hearing of, like, if you're already hearing concerns from constituents, like I'm seeing attorneys that are like grasping at straws, like attorneys that do immigration law, and they're trying to help the people that are meant to represent, and they're running into problems with getting access to their clients and to talk to the relevant people, so they can represent them and try to find avenues for remedy. And they're like desperate, like putting out posts I saw one today on Facebook where they're just like, hey, please like and share and get this out there, because the contact information that I got an email address from somebody else, and I got an immediate bounce back. Like, there's all kinds of issues happening right now that there needs to be this constant pressure, and we need to keep like collecting evidence to use against these bad actors. Like, there's more and more bad signs. Like Pam Bondi just fired like the top like ethics advisory person for the DOJ, who's done service for over 25 years, and who is exactly the kind of person that you want on an ethics board for counsel. So things are obviously not going in the right direction here, and we need to keep using the courts. We need to keep using the system that we have, because like that's the best option at the moment. And raise awareness, collect information, like the Facebook group that I'm in, the No Kings Action Network. If you're interested in that, hit me up. I'll link it to it if you want to sign up. You just have to answer some screening questions and stuff. We have a list of people that are being kidnapped and disappeared and all that we're like gathering information So hopefully down the road, we can help these people get accountability and hopefully, if possible, reunite them with their families and their lives and get their freedom back. Or at least, unfortunately, if the worst case scenario happens, we can use their profile of what happened as a message to amplify that, to help the cause, the advocacy against this kind of stuff, because it shouldn't be happening to anybody. Like, the idea that, like, it's always a frustration for me when people that, say that they're on the right wing, they're conservatives or whatever flavor of right winger they are, that they claim to like value law and order and the Constitution and stuff. And they're constantly making these arguments that what's happening under the Republican regime right now is somehow legal. And, they're always justifying, like, if they want to be here, they should have done it the right way, but they don't know anything about the immigration system that we have. They don't know how racist it is. They don't know how overly bureaucratic it is. They don't understand how expensive it is and how long it takes and how many gray areas people can find themselves in. And it's not as, for the people that like have come here through a process, not the process that we have now, that they're like, well, I did it the legal way, and they're attacking the same groups of people that are very similar to them, to their backgrounds, their culture, to where they came from. And how they came here. It's not the same story. And like to say that the laws are being followed is absolutely not true. It's really not true at all. Like, you can't go around being a masked person, not identifying yourself, seizing people's persons or property. Like, that's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. And Obama and Biden deported a whole shit ton of people. And, the left got pissed off about a lot of those because at times there were violations of the law, but it was not the same as what's happening now. It's not. It's really not. Like, they didn't have masked men grabbing people up. They didn't have, they really weren't separating people from their families. They weren't grabbing like foster kids. On and on and on it goes. And we've had lots of cases of U.S. citizens getting nabbed. So, read the Constitution and the amendments that apply. It's the 4th, 5th, 6th. What am I missing out? I mean, part of this is a violation of the 10th Amendment. Like, the 10th Amendment is the separations of powers. So at the 4th Amendment, like, you can't just, like, they need a judicial warrant. If they don't have a judicial warrant, it's bullshit, right? They have to identify themselves. People have a right to be able to face their accusers. Like, if this stuff goes to court, it's bunk. It's completely bunk, because the attorneys can just say, I don't know that guy. My client doesn't know this guy. That's not the officer that was there. Case fucking done. 5th Amendment, right? Like, we have a right to due process. 6th Amendment, we have a right to have an attorney, right? And we have a right to go see a judge. And then all of this is a problem under the separations of powers. Like, the executive is basically just wholesale saying, making orders through the DOJ and the Department of Homeland Security and kind of usurping everything. And then they're ignoring court orders all over the place, including the Supreme Court. So that's a problem. And it's got to stop. So we have to fight back and do what we can do. So please help me out. Please follow my content. Hit all the buttons, do all the things. Check me out on Patreon /BornFree44. Thanks.